The morning sun always seemed to shine a little brighter on Elm Street. At the heart of this quiet, tree-lined road was the Daily Grind, a cafe that was more than just a coffee shop. For locals, it was the start of their day, a place of comfort and routine. The smell of roasted coffee and pastries promised a good day ahead. Sleepy but smiling, people lined up for their first cup, sharing small stories and weekend plans. The baristas knew your name and your order, making everyone feel special. In a busy world, the Daily Grind was a small island of peace. This daily ritual gave residents a sense of stability. No matter what happened at work or home, their morning coffee was waiting. The friendly nod from the barista, the perfectly made latte, the familiar muffin. It was all part of a comforting routine. The cafe was a cornerstone of their daily existence, built on trust and simple pleasures. People trusted the coffee, the smiles, and the person who remembered their name. The Daily Grind was a neighborhood hub, a place where connections were made over steaming cups. No one ever thought that this trust could be misplaced. No one imagined that danger could be hiding in such a warm and friendly place. The cafe's charm was its predictability. It was a promise that everything was okay, that the world was still turning as it should. For years, this was the reality at the Daily Grind. Until one day, everything changed. At the center of this world was Eli, the barista with the extraordinary memory. He'd worked at the Daily Grind for over 5 years, and regulars never needed to say their order. Eli would see them walk in and start making their drink. Large black coffee for Mr. Henderson, soy latte for Sarah, caramel macchiato for David. He never made a mistake. Customers loved the personal service. It made them feel seen and valued. Eli greeted everyone with a warm smile and asked about their families by name. He remembered Mrs. Gable's son's exams, Mr. Chen's holiday plans. Newcomers were amazed when Eli recalled their order on a second visit. His ability seemed almost like a superpower. People didn't just come for the coffee, they came for Eli. He was always calm, even during the busiest rush, listening patiently and offering a kind word. Eli was the perfect employee and neighbor, a constant reassuring presence. His remarkable memory and kind heart made him seem completely trustworthy. He was just Eli, the friendly barista who knew everyone's coffee order. No one saw anything else. His attention to detail was legendary. He made every customer feel like the most important person in the room. The cafe's reputation rested on his shoulders. People felt lucky to have him. He was the reason the Daily Grind felt like home. But sometimes, the person who knows you best is the one you know the least. Eli's memory was more than a party trick. It was the key to everything that followed. Eli's memory went far beyond coffee orders. As he served drinks, he quietly collected information. Who came in at what time? Who only visited on weekends? Who changed their routine? Through friendly small talk, he learned about jobs, schedules, holidays, and even package deliveries. He knew who lived alone, who had a partner, and which days people worked from home. Each detail was stored away, filed alongside their coffee preference. To others, these were just friendly conversations. People enjoyed sharing parts of their lives with the cheerful barista. They didn't realize Eli was building a detailed profile of each regular. He knew their comings and goings, the rhythm of their lives. After his shift, Eli meticulously wrote down what he'd learned: arrival times, outfits, topics of conversation. He recorded routines with the same precision he used to make coffee. This wasn't just about remembering an order. It was about creating a complete picture of their lives. It was an obsession hidden behind a friendly smile. The regulars had no idea they were the subjects of such intense study. Eli's perfect memory was his secret weapon. The quiet rhythm of Elm Street began to change. The first to disappear was Mr. Henderson, the retired teacher, always at the daily grind at 7:30 a.m., until one Tuesday he didn't show up. People noticed his absence. Eli mentioned it too, expressing concern. Everyone assumed he was unwell or away. Weeks later, Sarah, the young graphic designer, vanished. Her colleagues reported her missing when she didn't show up for work. 2 disappearances in such a short time unsettled the neighborhood. The cheerful cafe chatter turned to whispers of concern. Then David, the always-in-a-hurry lawyer, disappeared after grabbing his usual caramel macchiato. The community was gripped by fear. Police investigated, but there were no leads. The disappearances seemed random, ordinary people, quiet lives. The only constant was the daily grind. People still came for their morning coffee, clinging to routine. Eli was there, serving coffee with a sympathetic ear, expressing sadness for the missing. "It's just terrible," he'd say, shaking his head. He seemed as shocked and scared as everyone else, but the sense of safety was gone. The cafe's warmth now felt shadowed by unease. No one suspected the barista behind the counter. The police investigation stalled. No forced entry, no witnesses, no ransom notes. Detective Miller took over, searching for any connection between the victims. He mapped out their last known movements and noticed one recurring location: the daily grind. All 3 victims had visited the cafe on the day they disappeared. Miller visited the cafe and spoke to Eli, who recalled exactly what the victims ordered and when they'd been in. At first, Eli seemed like a valuable witness, but as Miller dug deeper, he realized Eli wasn't just a witness. He was the connection. Eli knew all the victims well, their routines, habits, and personal details. He was always working when they made their final visit. The link was always the same: a missing person, a final visit to the coffee shop, and the friendly barista. The focus of the investigation began to shift toward Eli. Miller started to wonder if this was more than coincidence. The cafe's charm now seemed like a mask. The detective's suspicion grew. The community's trust was about to be shattered. The truth was closer than anyone realized. Detective Miller needed more than suspicion. He needed evidence. He observed Eli, noticing he often stayed late after closing. The breakthrough came from David's credit card record, a final transaction at the daily grind at 7:15 p.m., though the cafe closed at 7. Miller returned with a search warrant, asking about the loyalty card program. Security footage showed David leaving before 7, but his loyalty card had a fresh stamp. This detail gave police a reason to search Eli's home. In a locked basement room, they found dozens of notebooks, each filled with Eli's precise handwriting. These weren't diaries, but detailed logs of customers' lives, coffee orders, schedules, family names, entry and exit times. He had maps of their routes home. The notebooks were a library of stolen privacy, covering everyone, not just the missing. Police realized the terrifying truth. Eli used his position to gather information, selecting victims based on their routines and vulnerabilities. The loyalty card stamp was his mistake, a stamp for a visit that would never happen. This small act of misplaced routine led to his downfall. The evidence was overwhelming. The friendly barista was unmasked as a predator. The community's trust had been exploited. The daily grind would never be the same. The case was finally solved. Eli's arrest sent shockwaves through Elm Street. The man everyone trusted was a monster. The cafe closed for weeks as police finished their investigation. The story was all over the news. The barista who knew too much. When the Daily Grind reopened under new management, the feeling was different. A new barista stood behind the counter, polite, professional, but distant. People had to state their order every morning. At first it felt strange and impersonal, but soon relief set in. There was comfort in anonymity. No one felt watched or studied. The morning coffee was just a transaction again, and that was okay. Small talk was general, questions less personal. The story of Eli became a cautionary tale. A friendly smile and a good memory aren't always signs of a kind heart. The people of Elm Street learned that safety is more important than convenience. They still enjoyed their morning ritual, but with new awareness. The coffee tasted just as good, but the simple anonymous exchange made it feel much, much safer.